In the high-stakes theater of the Korean Peninsula, the aerial balance of power is undergoing a tectonic shift. For decades, the skies were a domain of tense equilibrium, but the emergence of the KF-21 Boramae marks a definitive departure from the past. This analysis examines the technical and strategic confrontation between South Korea's indigenous fighter, the KF-21, and the backbone of North Korea's elite air defense, the MiG-29. To understand the gravity of this shift, one must first look at the immense journey South Korea undertook to move beyond its reliance on foreign technology. The KFX program, which eventually birthed the Boramae, was once dismissed by international skeptics as an impossible dream for a nation that had never built a supersonic fighter from scratch. Yet, through decades of persistence and an investment exceeding $6 billion United States dollars, the vision has become a flying reality, fundamentally altering the military calculus of Northeast Asia. The arrival of the KF-21 Boramae represents more than just a new aircraft. It is the manifestation of South Korea's ambition to achieve strategic autonomy. Developed by Korea Aerospace Industries, the KF-21 is a Generation 4.5 fighter designed to bridge the gap between traditional fourth-generation platforms and elite fifth-generation stealth jets. In contrast, the MiG-29 Fulcrum remains the most capable interceptor in the North Korean inventory. Acquired primarily in the late 1980s and early 90s, these aircraft were once the pinnacle of Soviet engineering, designed to achieve air superiority through raw power and agility. While the MiG-29 was designed for a world of visual dogfights and manual controls, the KF-21 is a child of the digital age, where the battle is won in the electromagnetic spectrum long before the pilots can see each other's contrails. The fundamental difference between these two platforms lies in their electronic nervous systems. The KF-21 is built around an active, electronically scanned array, AESA, radar system. Unlike traditional radars, an AESA radar can track multiple targets simultaneously across a wide area while remaining extremely difficult for enemy systems to detect or jam. This provides the KF-21 with a decisive advantage in situational awareness, allowing it to see the enemy long before it is seen. The MiG-29s operated by the North, specifically the older 9.12B and 9.13 variants, rely on the N019 Cassegrain radar. This technology belongs to a previous era of analog processing. It is highly susceptible to modern electronic warfare and lacks the range to compete with the KF-21's sensor suite. While North Korea has attempted to modernize its fleet with potential external assistance, the core architecture of the MiG-29 remains limited by its original Cold War design, making it a blind combatant in a modern electronic environment. Furthermore, the KF-21 is equipped with an infrared search and track IRST system and an electro-optical targeting pod, EOTGP. These passive sensors allow the Boramae to detect and track the heat signatures of MiG-29 engines without emitting any radar signals that would alert the North Korean pilot. In a scenario where radar use is restricted to maintain stealth, the KF-21 can still hunt with lethal precision. The MiG-29 lacks this level of sensor fusion, forcing its pilot to rely on ground-based radar instructions, which are vulnerable to jamming and destruction in the opening hours of a conflict. This disparity in vision is the single most significant factor in modern air superiority. In modern aerial combat, the victor is often determined by who can fire first from the greatest distance. This is where the KF-21 establishes absolute dominance through its primary armament, the Meteor Beyond Visual Range Air-to-Air Missile. The Meteor is unique because it utilizes a ramjet engine, allowing it to maintain high speeds of over Mach 4 throughout its entire flight path. Traditional missiles used by the MiG-29, such as the R-27, known by the NATO reporting name AA-10 Alamo, use solid fuel rocket motors that burn out quickly, leaving the missile to coast toward its target. The Meteor's ability to throttle its engine means it possesses a no-escape zone that is several times larger than that of the R-27. A KF-21 pilot can engage a MiG-29 from a distance of over 100 kilometers with a high probability of kill, whereas a MiG-29 pilot would need to survive an onslaught of incoming fire just to get close enough to attempt a countershot. The logistical and economic reality further compounds the North's disadvantage. The development of the KF-21 has required an investment of several billion United States dollars. This massive financial commitment reflects South Korea's shift from being a consumer of foreign military technology to a global exporter. The unit cost of the KF-21 is estimated to be approximately 80 million United States dollars to 100 million United States dollars, depending on the production block. On the other side of the border, North Korea faces severe economic constraints and international sanctions. Maintaining a fleet of MiG-29s is an increasingly expensive endeavor. Issues with spare parts, high-quality aviation fuel, and limited flight hours for pilots mean that the theoretical capability of the MiG-29 fleet may be significantly lower than what appears on paper. A pilot who flies only 20 hours a year cannot hope to match the proficiency of a ROCAF pilot who trains for hundreds of hours using advanced simulators and live fire exercises. If the distance between the two aircraft were to close, the nature of the fight would change, but not necessarily in the favor of the older jet. The MiG-29 was designed for the dogfight, a close-quarters engagement where agility and thrust-to-weight ratios are paramount. Its lifting body fuselage and powerful dual engines allow it to perform extreme maneuvers. However, the KF-21 counters this traditional agility with high-off-boresight technology. By utilizing the IRIS-T short-range missile in conjunction with a helmet-mounted display, a South Korean pilot does not need to point the nose of the aircraft at the MiG-29 to achieve a lock. They simply need to look at the target. This digital lethality effectively nullifies the aerodynamic advantages that the MiG-29 might have held in a 20th century engagement. Modern air combat is as much about bits and bytes as it is about bullets and bombs. The KF-21 features an integrated electronic warfare suite that can detect, categorize, and jam enemy radar signals. In a conflict, the KF-21 would likely operate within a wider network, receiving data from South Korea's E-737 Pisai early warning aircraft and Aegis-equipped destroyers through Link 16 data links. This network-centric warfare allows the KF-21 to receive target data without even turning on its own radar, making it a ghost in the sky. The MiG-29, operating largely in isolation or under the guidance of outdated ground-based controllers, would find itself blinded by the electronic noise generated by South Korean assets. Without a clear picture of the battle space, the MiG-29 becomes a target rather than a hunter. The strategic implications of the KF-21 extend beyond the peninsula. By developing an indigenous platform, South Korea has freed itself from the political constraints of foreign technology transfer. This allows for rapid upgrades and customizations that can respond to new threats in real time. For the North Korean leadership, the realization that their elite air defense can be neutralized from distances beyond their own reach creates a significant psychological and strategic deterrent. The MiG-29, once a symbol of prestige and power for Pyongyang, now serves as a reminder of the widening technological chasm between the two nations. The comparison between the KF-21 Boramae and the MiG-29 is a study in the passage of time. The MiG-29 is a respected veteran, an aircraft that defined an era of Soviet power. However, it belongs to the past. The KF-21 Boramae is a symbol of the future, a platform that integrates stealth-optimized design, advanced sensors, and long-range lethality. While North Korea may still possess a numerically significant air force, the qualitative edge provided by the KF-21 ensures that South Korea maintains air superiority. The KF-21 does not just match the MiG-29, it renders the traditional methods of aerial combat used by the North obsolete. As South Korea moves toward the production of more advanced blocks of the KF-21, including those with internal weapons bays for full stealth capability, the gap will only continue to widen. This transition secures the skies of the South, providing a robust deterrent that is grounded in technological supremacy and indigenous innovation.